Hi, how you going? Steve from I'm Enough Coaching, and again I've come to join you on our little mini series, We Are All Leaders. Now I wanted to talk to you today about conflict, and particularly when we have somebody who is trying to buck the system, somebody who is going against policy and procedure. You know, maybe you've got rules within your house as well. How do you actually get people to follow the rules when they're choosing or they're displaying signs of discontent and the inability to be able to achieve what it is that you want them to be able to achieve? This is something that a lot of people struggle with. Conflict within human relationships is something that people struggle with generally anyway. So what we start to see is that where we struggle, we don't want to address it. It becomes uncomfortable. It starts to be something that we shy away from. So what I'd like to share with you today is a resourceful, simple strategy that you can apply, with regards to managing conflict. Now, it's called the 3E principle, and it really is very simple. Now, we can use this with anything from children at home to disgruntled employees within the workplace. So the first thing we need to be able to do is to explain what it is that we need to be done. So, we could say, well, I need you to follow this procedure, and this is why I need you to follow this procedure. And, we have this procedure in place so that X, Y, and Z happens. Once we've been able to explain it, we can then ask them for their understanding. Do you understand what it is that I've asked you to do? Does this make sense to you? Are you able to comply with this? Do you have any questions with regards to what it is that I'm asking you to do? And we make it really, really clear so that it's understood exactly what it is that we want them to be able to achieve. We've given them the policies, we've given them procedures, we've told them why, we've given them the opportunity to be able to ask questions, we've not given them the opportunity to ask, and clarify their point of view. So we've given them the opportunity to be able to buy in. Then we allow them to carry on. Now, they've got a choice then. They either do as they've been asked to do, to follow the policy, to follow the procedure, and to do exactly how you've asked them to do it. Or they've got the choice to carry on and buck the system and buck the trends, which is what we would be expecting from them because this is the behaviour they've demonstrated so far. Then we move on to the second E, E number 2, we explore. So we get them back in again, we have another conversation with them. So first of all, we've explained everything that we need them to be able to do. So you go through and you say, okay, look, I've explained everything that we wanted you to do. We've given you the policy and the procedures. We've shown you how to do it. You had your opportunity to ask questions and seek to understand. So we're clear that you understand what's going on. So I'm just curious now, and this is the second E, explore. I'm just curious to explore what it is, why it is that you're struggling with this. How can we help you to achieve the desired outcome that we're asking you to achieve? This is where we start to explore. So we explore what's going on. Now, we don't know everything. As leaders, we don't know everything. There could be something going on within this person's life that we are unaware of. There could be, mitigating factors that they haven't told us about. There could be a learning disability. There could be a physical disability that they haven't, disclosed to us. There could be other things going on in the background. For example, you got an employee who's just not doing their job properly. They're not achieving what you want them to be able to achieve. And when you start to dig deeper, you realise that there's things going on in their domestic life. It could be that one of their kids is taking drugs, or they've got some serious financial issues going on, and that's what's creating the issue with regards to not being able to focus in on their work. So when we can explore their world, we can start to understand what's going on for them and how we, as the leader, can then move to the third E. The third E is empowerment. What can we do together to empower this person to be able to achieve what it is? So we could start to come up with different strategies, different ways of being able to share the information. Perhaps there's a breakdown in the communication. Maybe they didn't really understand it. Maybe there's something that we can do to support them. Maybe there's some more resources that we could give them. Maybe we need to give them more training. Maybe they just isn't a job for them. This isn't their parche. So move them on to something different. Whatever it is, we need to be able to empower this person. Now, once we've tried the explain, the explore and the empowerment, if they still choose to buck the system, this is when we start to get into a performance management issue. This is where you get HR involved. This is where you start to document the discussions that you've had and all of the steps that you've taken to be able to help this person achieve what it is that you need them to achieve within the criteria of the job description. So what we're doing here is we are explaining to them what they need to be able to do. We are exploring with them the actual task that they can understand it, and then what we do is we empower them by helping them. It might even get to the point where you have to go and physically do the job with the individual to show them exactly what it is that you mean. Very often when I was a windsurfing instructor, being able to demonstrate to somebody what they were doing would be able to give them the visual picture of their performance. So for example, it's you have to bear with me, but when you're windsurfing, you need to be stood up like this, dead straight. Okay, a lot of people do this, they lean forward, so therefore their center of balance is out of position. When I actually showed the individuals this position with their backside sticking out, they then got what I was saying. So when we empower and explore, what we need to be able to do is work with different ways to be able to get the same message across. So, where one person might be a visual learner, another person might be detail orientated. Another person might be small picture, they need all the information. Another person might be big picture. So we've all got our own different learning styles, our own different learning traits, and our own different ways of taking on board information. And that applies to us sharing of information as well. So again, when we're going through the explain, the explore and the empower process, try to tune into the person that you're talking to. Try to tune into what their learning style is and adapt your delivery to meet their needs. This is how we can deal with conflict in a resourceful way. It's a bit of a long-winded process, yes, I'll give you that, but it's much better than the screaming and the shouting and the blaming and then all the barriers going up and all the brick walls going up and then the them versus us attitude that goes on and all the internal conflict that then entails. If you can follow these 3 simple steps, explain, explore, empower, we can then start to help the individual move forward and do the things that we want them to be able to do in a resourceful, sustainable way. We don't get involved in the arguments, we don't get involved in the blame game, we don't get involved in you did this and I did that, or you didn't do this and that didn't happen because of X, Y and Z. What we do is we stick with the facts, we explain. Then we explore. We explore their understanding, we explore their ability to be able to do it, and where necessary we empower them through helping them finding other ways that they can achieve the same desired outcome using the principles, but in a way that they get it. We have to be able to adapt our delivery style to meet their learning style. So this is how we can start to deal with conflict resourcefully. I hope you found this useful. I will continue to share these little nuggets that will help you become the leader that you need to become. Now, you imagine if you reflected this back on yourself, where you're not achieving what's going on. You can explain, you can explore, and you can empower. You can do this with yourself as well. All right, I hope this has been useful. Love to hear your comments down below. My name's Steve from I'm Enough Coaching. Until next time, take care. Te aro.